Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Retired policewoman killed in Hanover house fire. An 89-year-old retired female superintendent of police was killed in a house fire in her home in Hopewell, Hanover on Monday morning. She has been identified as Elana Nesbitt. Personnel from the Jamaica Fire Brigade found her remains after conducting cooling down operations. The cause of the blaze is not yet known. Residents say sections of the area have been without power since Sunday. Chief Justice says the island's prosecutors could achieve greater results under the ODPP. Chief Justice says the island's prosecutors could achieve greater results if they were all operating under the umbrella of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, ODPP. In some cases, the island's prosecutors have been criticized when persons are freed of charges due to the lack of sufficient evidence, among other factors. Speaking at the church service to mark the 60th anniversary of the ODPP on Sunday, Chief Justice stated that prosecutorial agencies will fall outside the ODPP do not yield the same results because of a lack of experience and guidance.
I won't say whether it is a good thing or a bad thing, but what I will say is this, that if one looks at the record of the DPP and looks at the record of those offices, I suspect you may safely conclude you're not getting the same kind of results and impact. And it has nothing to do with the quality of attorneys, but it simply has to do with the fact that prosecutorial expertise is acquired over time. It is not something you get out of a book. It's something you have to do and to practice. And respectfully, those agencies simply do not have the breadth and depth of experience. And so immediately, once you put the prosecutors there, they are sort of cut off from 60 years of experience. So as a young prosecutor, you go over into court, you have a problem. You come into the big room, and immediately you have access to 40 years because you have a number of attorneys there. So the problem that it would have taken you perhaps hours to solve, it is solved within minutes. And that is the benefit of chambers, and that is the benefit of having a strong central prosecutorial agency. So if one wishes to get the appropriate return on investment, something that I've said privately, now I'm saying it publicly, is that all of those need to be brought under the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Man charged with attempted murder to have charge upgraded to murder. A man who was previously charged with attempted murder will have his charge upgraded to murder. This after a 63-year-old Manchester farmer who he reportedly attacked last month died on Saturday. Dead is Gregory Andrade of Shoreditch District, Manchester. Reports are that about 12:15 a.m., Andrade was allegedly attacked by his tenant, 30-year-old Toby Clark. Clark reported to use a knife to inflict wounds to Andrade's head, right hand, and right eye. The police were summoned and Andrade was taken to hospital, where he was admitted in an unconscious state. Clark was charged with attempted murder in relation to the incident. However, following Mr. Andrade's death on Saturday, the police say preparations are underway for the charge to be upgraded to murder. Prime Minister repeats warning to illegal gun owners. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has again issued a warning to holders of illegal firearms. Speaking at Young Jamaica's Era Council 1 Youth Forum on Saturday, Mr. Holness said too many people are in possession of illegal guns. He said the government continues to work on the legislation covering firearms, and those caught with the weapon will face the consequences.
When the new legislation is passed, find a way to turn over the gun to the police. We might even give you some amnesty, because we are going to make it unprofitable for you to have an illegal firearm. Right now, people are caught with illegal firearms. I know of a case, they get 1 year and whatever in jail. Some get suspended sentences and they're out again. Now, we can't judge the circumstances of each specific case. I'm not here making any commentary on the judicial system. But what we need to be clear on is that there must be a disincentive and a deterrent for the youngster who goes to school, playing gun war, see his brother with a real gun, decide that he want one as well, go and get one. That system must change. I'm working very closely with the US authorities. Yes, we are going to get some of those people who are disassembling the guns and putting them into the rice bag, putting them into the soap, and sending it into the barrels. We are going to get you. Yeah. Can't say me never did warn you. Can't say it. I put it out. So the legislation will be debated in Parliament in the coming weeks. And after that, then we will have another major campaign to tell our youngsters who have guns, please dispose of them, turn them over to the authorities. We'll find ways and means of ensuring that you can anonymously dispose of your illegal gun. Because after that period of time, we're going to go hard. Hard.
Do not lock out students, Education Minister says. Public school leaders are being reminded that blocking students from entering the school compound because of non-compliance with the rules should not be the first disciplinary action. This is in keeping with efforts by the Ministry of Education and Youth to reduce discriminatory practices in school while addressing the need for discipline among students. Minister of Education Favour Williams spoke on the matter during recently staged inaugural consultation on the ministry's draft dress and grooming policy for public educational institutions with school leaders and deans of discipline at Jamaica College in Kingston. According to a release on Saturday, Williams said opting to lock out students is never acceptable at our schools. There has to be other ways of dealing with it other than using the Jacania way of locking them out at school, because that has all kinds of issues associated with it, she said. We have to get more creative than then when in violation of the rule. Williams said that while the ministry understands that schools operate in various contexts, barring students from entering contravenes Article 28 of the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child, as well as the 2004 Child Care and Protection Act. We are also aware that there are cultural dynamics and differences of opinion as to what may be considered appropriate and relevant to the child's education, she said. Against this backdrop, she further disclosed that the proposed policy will establish a comprehensive framework for dress and grooming for public schools while taking in consideration cultural identity, climate situations, socio-economic conditions of parents, and the aims of educational institutions. She is therefore urging school leaders and board members to have their own document student dress code and rules in keeping with the mandate of the ministry to prevent further conflicts on the matter. Discussion of the draft are to inform, educate, and garner feedback from key stakeholders and to increase their participation in its development. This is the first in a series of consultations that will also involve students and parents. Delivery man charged with the murder of Clarendon father and son. A delivery man of a Tavares Garden Kingston address has been charged with the murders of a Clarendon father and his 8-year-old son. Rowan Peter has been charged with the April 22nd killing of 46-year-old Thomas James Sr. and 8-year-old Thomas James Jr. Reports are that at 7:45 p.m., the elder James and his son were inside his shop along with Peter, allegedly entering and opening gunfire, hitting them. The police were summoned and they were taken to hospital. James Jr. was pronounced dead on arrival while James Sr. succumbed to his injuries on Friday, June 17. Peter was arrested following intense investigations. He was pointed out during an identification parade and charged following an interview. His court date is being arranged. First Needs Registration Center opening soon. The first pilot enrollment site where citizens will be able to register for the new National Identification System needs will be completed in approximately 2 weeks. The location is at the Central Sorting Office on South Camp Road in Kingston and is the first of 5 sites that will be activated across Jamaica and St. Andrew by early October, the Jamaica Information Service JIS reported last week. Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister Floyd Green disclosed the details after touring the site with the Productive Business Solutions PBS Consortium on Thursday, August 11, 2022. The PBS is tasked with implementing the NID solutions. I'm really happy to see the progress that we're moving in the right direction. We have indicated that we wanted to have our first enrollment site up and ready by August, and based on the trajectory, it should be completed in 2 weeks or so, Mr. Floyd Green stated. Works currently being finalized included the installation of electrical ports, equipment testing, and infrastructure fine-tuning. The site will feature workstation design to accommodate private and equipment of biometric captures such as fingerprint scanner, document scanner, a camera, and a signature pad. Collected information will be stored directly in the government's primary and secondary data centers. Minister Green also noted that the production side for making the cards is ready and is in a phase of doing testing. It was really impressive to see the time that he took to make the card, he quickly said, and also the quality he stated. I think Jamaicans must rest assured that we are taking the highest level of security cautions in the preparation of these cards and the process that we will go through in terms of inputting the information, he emphasized. He estimated that after the pilot program comes into effect, these will be rolled out to the general public in 2023. I'm very happy that we're heading in the right direction and look forward to this in our 60th independence celebration that we will have our national identification system up and running, Minister Green stated. 140 new COVID-19 cases, no deaths reported. Jamaica on Saturday, August 13, reported 140 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, bringing the total number of cases recorded on the island since the start of the pandemic to 148,048. No deaths reported. The death toll remains at 3,221. Of the newly reported cases, there were 85 females and 55 males, with ages ranging from 1 day to 108 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 36, St. James 7, St. Anne and Westmoreland 3, St. Catherine 29, St. Elizabeth Trelawney and Hanover 5, Clarendon 14, Manchester 18, Portland 6, St. Thomas 1 and St. Mary 8. According to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the country also recorded 75 new recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 95,074. The country's positivity rate for the latest batch of testing is 19.5%. There are confirmed 1,353 active cases on the island. Approximately 166 patients are hospitalized. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell